Hello, my name is Rez. I am a professional game programmer and I do electrical engineering as a hobby. This is day 2 of our electronic advent calendar. So this is the electronic sounds one. We've got day 2. This is where I think we're going to get our proto board. It's white this time. Usually they're yellow. But this one's white. Oh, and a switch that just popped out. Yeah, that's what we get. So we get this switch and we get this little proto board. It's sort of wonky, like this thing's on kind of, let's see if I can get a better view of it. There we go. It's kind of on crooked, not a huge deal. But you can never have enough proto boards. And then we've got this guy. This is our little switch. Now, the switch itself it looks like it got kind of bent. Let's see if I can get this thing to focus for me. So we can see this is pretty bent, but that's okay. What we'll need to do is we'll need to take some pliers and just basically fix that. So that's what I'll do right now. This is going to stick into this proto board, and I am pretty sure what we're going to do is have a button light up our little LED here. So here we are, and I'm just taking these needle nose pliers and I'm just bending these out. You want to be kind of careful doing this. It's not particularly strong here, so you just want to be careful. I'm just straightening out these leads a little bit, and I've played with enough of these guys to know the approximate width. There we are. Yeah, so that's better. And then I can just kind of finagle them. There we go. Yeah, that's about right. That lets me actually plug this thing in. And once you have this actually sitting in a board, then it's way easier to sort of slot it back in now that I have these bent in basically the right fashion. I think this one's still a little off. Yeah, there we are. Okay, so that's that. Now, the next thing that we're going to need to do is we're going to need to get the LED, which is over here, and we're going to need to connect these guys together. And I'm just making this up, so I'm very much assuming that that's what this thing wants me to do. But let's find out what it actually wants me to do. Day 2. Second box contains a breadboard and a push button. Breadboard contains a bunch of contacts, so it's just describing how a breadboard works along each of the contacts. It describes how it's all connected. Yeah, so this is just going through all of that. Basically what it's saying is that these rows here are connected. If I do it like this, I guess they're rows. So these are going to be connected. They're not connected this way, but they are connected this way. And there's a bridge here, so these two sides are not connected. So if I did this, this would do nothing because they're connected to the exact same point electrically. If I did this, now they're connected to two different points. Or if I did this and spread them across, they're connected to two different points. Furthermore, these strips here, these are like the power rails. So often you have positive, negative, that kind of thing. This entire strip, this entire sort of column here is connected, including this little bridge here. This whole thing is connected. So that is how these connections are set up. Now what they want us to do, so they're showing us how this works. Now they're showing us this this guy here. So here's my little breadboard. If I wire this up like this, where these where these neighboring shoulders are connected, right? So here the neighboring shoulders are connected. This is not particularly useful for our purposes because now everything's connected. We need these little neighboring shoulders like this, because remember, these are all connected, but these are not connected. So we need these guys here. So basically now the button acts as a bridge between these two little sections. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this guy right here. This is our little LED. And remember, there's a right way and a wrong way to hook up the LED as well, right? The long lead is what we call the anode, which goes to positive, and the short lead is what we call the cathode, which goes to negative. So I'm going to take the long end like this. Here it is. And I'm going to stick it right there. Just like that. Now I could hook up the battery, but again, I don't really want to hook up the batteries and, you know, waste a bunch of batteries. I'm going to use my power supply. So this is the negative end, which we will put there. We will take the positive end, and I'll just put a little wire here to make it easier to connect. We'll put it there. So you can see how I'm connecting this, yeah? These guys are in this same sort of row, which means they're all going to be connected, and these guys are in this row, so they're going to be connected. They're not connected together. They have to go through this little switch. I have to hit this switch. And I need the positive lead, which is this one, connected here. Okay, and there we go. Now I'm going to turn on the power. So the power is on, and we can't see anything because, of course, nothing's connected. We have to press this button, and there we go. Now it's connected. So that's all this is really doing. We can do a little Morse code thing, and that's it. So that is the excitement of day 2. So again, day 2 is quite straightforward. We're just getting some of the basics that we need, switches and stuff like that, and you know, just learning basic kind of day 1 electronics stuff. Day 3 will be quite small. I'm expecting a resistor of some kind that's going to be a very core component to what we need. And I'm really curious when we start getting our speaker. That might be number 4. If not, it's going to be way out here unless we have a really tiny speaker. But we'll find out.